You really don't want to sleep on Clair Obscur Expedition 33, even if you normally don't enjoy turn-based games, like don't write it off. The battles are namely way more action focused than you might think, and it really works well with immersing you in this very interesting new setting. A huge tower with a number is overlooking the lands, and every year that number goes down by 1, which means that everyone of that age will die. So people get 1 year older, but also live shorter. To combat this, a group of expeditioners, usually with only 1 year left to live, go and try to stop the paintress responsible for this, but no expedition has ever returned or been successful. This setup really works because as you explore the different regions and try to get closer to the paintress, you will see remains of those previously failed expeditions, what they tried to succeed, and why they might have failed. It gives a rich history to this world, and you also get the feeling that you're part of something bigger, while in its place also making you feel small, like you're just another expedition going on this journey. Like you're not the chosen one, like in many stories. The first time we saw this game, the graphics of course immediately stood out. This a showcase title for Unreal Engine 5, like combined with the amazing and unique art direction, it really pops off the screen. But I got an early code thanks to the developers, and I'm happy to report that this game is so much more. We don't get huge new IPs like this often, and after the initial shock of the introduction, the game is able to keep your interest, not only by introducing new layers to this interesting world, but also making you care for the overall story and its characters. I don't want to go into more story details, and all the footage you will see in this video are from the first few hours. It's just way cooler to experience things for yourself. But yeah, from what I played so far, Expedition 33 really delivers. This game proves that you don't need hundreds of developers working multiple years on a title to deliver something with insane feeling production value. Clair Obscur is made by a small team of 30 people, and it still has those AAA quality graphics, but also the cutscenes are really well done and help elevate important and emotional moments. One thing I really like is how you instantly notice that some scenes are recorded with both voice actors in the same room. Conversations namely flow very naturally, with here in this early scene, for example, them talking over each other.
You know, I'm sorry that I miss you.
You don't need to. Okay.
You go.
You.
This usually feels awkward as you have a voice actor stop mid-sentence, then a short pause, and then the other character will start talking. In Expedition 33, it really works well. The script and mature themes also really help elevate the experience immediately from moment 1. So the game starts quite linear, there will be some side paths that are worth exploring for some extra rewards, but there's always one road to take to push the story forward. But this changes later on when you reach the big world map. Yeah, just like some JRPGs, you are these huge figurines exploring a miniature version of the land, and at first this is just to travel from one very distinct looking level to the next. But later on, this world map will also have bosses that you can choose to fight, but likely have to return to later, as you can see. Or it's a way to access optional levels with powerful rewards if you choose to complete them. I, for example, found a secret arena with special enemies. Like, the game really opens up the more and more you play, and the same can be said about the amazing combat. And of course, a quick like would really help me out, and if you, by the way, at any point have any questions about the game, drop them down below and I will do my best to answer them. Yes, Clair Obscur's turn-based battle system doesn't only look very flashy, but mostly really works because it strikes the perfect balance between RPG-style strategy and actual real-time skill. You really need to master both to be able to succeed against the many bosses that the game throws at you. Every move, apart from your basic attack, can namely be enhanced by timing your button presses right, even healing your teammates. Sometimes attacks have a long combo, but if you miss the quick time event, you won't fully do all the hits, so miss out on a ton of potential damage. Some spells can even blow up in your face if you're not timing your button presses right. So next to selecting the right moves, you also have to make sure that the attacks hit properly. But even more important is reading your opponent, as all their moves can be ignored, so then you take 0 damage, or you can even unleash a very powerful counter attack. You can only dodge out of the way of ranged attacks from enemies, but when an enemy gets close to hit you, you can also choose to parry their move. That window is shorter though, so requires you to be more precise, but if you parry all the hits, you can do the counter, so often it's worth the higher risk. Later they also introduce jump attacks. Like while watching some of the preview footage, I always thought things looked a bit overwhelming, but the game actually does a great job of slowly introducing these features. Same can be said for the strategy side of things. Like again, if you don't dodge or parry attacks, you will not succeed. But also if you don't spend time building the different characters. And I always love it when even early in the game you already have a lot of ways to change the playstyle of your characters. Some party members can be support or damage dealer or tank, but attacks also have special elements that enemies are strong or weak against. So even if one tactic works in one level, it won't when you encounter new enemies in a new map. You can also build synergies, like have one party member burn the target so they take damage over time, but when an enemy is burned, your other party members can have increased crit chance against that target. You will constantly be finding these pictos with passive effects that you can equip. By using them for 4 battles, they actually unlock as bonuses that you can then use on all characters. It's a really clever system because it forces you to try every new item you find and will also push you to not stick to just one loadout because you want to unlock these passive effects across all characters. I now have pictos that give me insane bonuses when fighting alone, like guaranteed crits, so I've actually been experimenting with a solo character build, and what's really cool is that when your current party fails, or in this case my solo character, you can call in your remaining team to still finish the fight. So even when you unlock new characters that are not in your main party, they can still be useful. I still need to tweak more, by the way, regarding this solo fight style, but just to show you that really a lot is already possible even early in the game. Let alone through your full journey that can easily last tens of hours, and you add even more on top of that if you want to do all the side content. You really see the love of old school RPGs back in this game, as you will encounter many bosses early that will simply one-shot your party, so then you have to take note and return to them later with a way stronger team. This is the first one of those enemies that you will encounter in the game. Maybe if you got the parries under control, you can be successful, but I went back later and the reward was certainly worth it. So there are a lot of cool surprises like this, although my main critique is the kind of predictable structure in most of the levels. Even though the bosses themselves do enough to change things up during combat, you will quickly see how you're always just going from one boss arena to the next, with some small room for exploration and fighting smaller enemies in between. And while again, in terms of art direction, every level feels really distinct, I think the game would have benefited from some small puzzles or other mechanics exclusive to each region, to make the gameplay in between the fights a bit more fleshed out and the levels more memorable. Now it does overall make Clair Obscur Expedition 33 a really relaxing game though. Like, I've been hooked since I started and I can't wait to make it to the end. So just wanted to share that, yes, if you think this looks awesome, it's really worth experiencing and then some. It's on Game Pass, also sold separately on PS5. If you want more of these new IPs next to the huge blockbusters, then I think it's totally good to support this. Again, got questions? Drop them in the comments. A like would be awesome, and check out our previous video by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.